There was the Burna thing that happened in Rivers.
What's that? Oh, the
That
governor.
he received cash payments.
Him and other people received cash.
Him and other
payments.
people. He received the bulk amount though, from what I heard.
I thought they said they shared it between everybody.
I thought I
The
heard.
story came out that they were all given 10 million or something like that.
I can see you already getting in.
No, I'm just saying
in defense mode.
It's just that.
Yeah, like.
The same way NFF, Nigerian Football Federation, has its own budget that gives these players, and you have people pledge to them to give through them, to give these players land and cars and whatever when they arrive.
Yeah, no, but that's different. Those ones they're actually working on behalf of the Nigerian government.
He's also working on behalf of the Nigerian government because he's a Nigerian. He's representing the country. We are all representing the country, and that's why this country celebrates every win. If this podcast,
the Nigerian football team is called the Nigerian football team for a reason. You see, there's a distinction between an artist, right?
Are you saying that
versus
it is wrong?
The Nigerian football
are you
team
saying that it is?
Welcome to the Smiling Sufferer podcast. On the mic is Corey Just, and here with me is my boy, the Black James Bond.
That's right. What's up?
Those that don't know, that was Somebody Baby by Peruzzi and Davido. Is it supposed to be on Peruzzi's album?
Does he have an album?
Like the one that's supposed to be coming out?
Oh, he has an album coming out?
Apparently, yeah. Allegedly, there's an album that he's supposed to have been working on.
I think he is due an album.
Yeah, there's an album that he's supposedly has been working on for a while.
Came out. That's
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Somebody Baby with him, and I feel like Peruzzi and Davido they're pretty consistent when it comes to hits.
Yes.
I mean,
it's not hard.
It's not hard for them. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it is. Another record that I liked was that Southie Love joint with him and.
Funny enough, I think Fireboy killed. Fireboy was featured on the record, but
yeah,
it feels like it was Fireboy's song. Like it's an amazing song. Salty Love is definitely one of my songs of the year so far.
Something happened like early last week though.
Like what?
There was the Burna thing that happened in Rivers.
What's that? Oh, the
governor. He received cash payments.
Him and other people received cash.
Him and other people. He received the bulk amount though, from what I heard.
I thought they said they shared it between everybody.
I thought I
heard. The story came out that they were all given 10 million or something like
that. I can see you already getting in.
No, I'm just saying
in defense mode.
It's just that.
Yeah, like.
No, I'm just like I don't understand. Was it supposed to say no?
Some people are arguing, yeah.
Why?
Because he's giving away state funds. The governor is, and the governor is not necessarily known to necessarily be the most
the governor
upstanding.
Also, let's say Burna Boy said no, the governor would be like, oh yeah, let's take this 10 million back into and give to somebody to something else state wise. Okay. Or the state is not progressing because of the 10 million.
Let me ask you something. If it was known that this was a corrupt governor, do you think there's also some level of responsibility on artists like Burna not to receive money from? So let me finish now. Not to receive money from someone like that, because by doing that, they would argue that you're legitimizing this guy that's stealing money. That allegedly, I don't know if he's stealing money, but I'm just saying if it was that he was a corrupt governor, isn't there some responsibility on Burna?
Majority of the politicians are corrupt. Let's start with that. Secondly, so anyone who has a deal with any sort of politician, I mean, a lot of the governors in the East pay majority of these artists to perform at their events, at their ceremonies, for Davido and PDP, has been a thing in the past where people said he was paid by what's his name? And
after a while he stopped. Did you notice that Wizkid stopped?
Wizkid has stopped.
Yes. Yeah, he stopped. But the same criticism.
Okay, Wizkid stopped, but Davido was supposedly allegedly paid by Atiku to campaign for them in a way. And you have it, and then it was almost funny because then that's when like Atiku came out and saying Davido is his favorite artist and yeah. But Davido denied it, obviously. But there was some sort of, I think he performed at the PDP rally or whatever. I don't really know the details.
Yeah.
Now, here's the difference. Burna Boy is from Cross Rivers, which is where Port Harcourt is. He's a Port Harcourt boy.
Yes.
He was.
Is it Rivers or Cross Rivers?
Rivers, I'm sorry. Cross Rivers is Calabar.
It's Rivers, yeah.
Sorry, is it Rivers State? Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The governor, by the way, is Governor Nyesom Wike.
Okay.
And what
So
he did was he pledged 10 million for each artist.
Again, I don't know. Again, see that, and this is where this thing gets tricky.
It was for a homecoming reception.
Yeah,
for
so
Burna
this where exactly this is where it gets tricky. So we don't even know if Burna Boy got any money except the like we don't even know how much he got, because he's saying 10 million for each artist that performed.
Yes.
So Burna Boy won a Grammy that we all know.
Yes.
Rivers State
Mm-hmm.
had a concert,
Mm-hmm.
homecoming concert for Burna Boy as the pride of Rivers State. Yeah, he got a medal too from the state.
Yeah.
He has a medal that says something about the pride of state. And the artist who performed, look at them.
Yeah.
That's who else was there.
Omale was there.
Yeah, you see them. He gave them. So why are people not going after those artists also? Why is Burna Boy the one that people are coming after? And again, it was a homecoming.
Because obviously Burna Boy is bigger than all of them.
So Corey, have you seen people, imagine, I mean, it's not the same thing, but imagine you criticize Biden.
Yeah.
And you do something and Biden says he wants to give you a medal of, what's that thing? The medal that they give, what do they call?
Medal of Honor.
Oh, no, are you going to say no?
It depends. Like, what am I?
If he did, okay, just like the
is Biden actively oppressing or suppressing people? The people that he has sworn to.
Maybe it might have not been a good analogy because in America it stands out more when you're in Nigeria. It's almost a norm. But here's what I'm saying: the man won a Grammy.
Yes.
The state, regardless of governor, wanted to throw him a homecoming party. It's an achievement that in modern Nigerian Afrobeat history we've never seen. I don't think it would be foolish for Burna Boy to say no. Especially, it was not. Again, remember when Burna and Wizkid won those Grammys. What did this guy do? The vice president do? He pledged money. You remember to what some organization to promote art. This is an industry that Nigerian government never played a part in. This is an industry that years ago people have been begging the government to help with the Alaba situation and piracy and all that stuff. People have been begging and begging and begging. These men and these people said no. Yeah. Now they've gotten the top price, and now of course Nigeria does what Nigeria does bread. They're sucking up, but it's shining light now on the industry. You have the VP. Can you Google how much the VP contributed a donation to I don't do just the Osibanjo Grammy, maybe it would come up with something. But the VP contributed to some organization for entertainment in Nigeria, and Wike he's the governor of his state. Wike did not call Burna Boy. It was not a Lagos state or a different state. Wike is his state. He's a homecoming.
He said Osibanjo Grammy.
Yeah, just put Osibanjo Grammy. I know he donated or he pledged supporting stars like Burna Boy, Wizkid with 300 million naira loan. Osibanjo.
Okay.
The federal government of Nigeria. Let me read the article. Vice President Yemi Osibanjo says the Bank of Industry, in collaboration with the National Council for Arts and Culture, has secured a 300 million naira loan for Nigeria creative sector.
Okay.
This is based off Burna Boy and Wizkid winning Grammys.
Yeah, I think I was actually gonna. It was one of my topics.
Why are we not attacking Osibanjo and the likes for that?
Well, the loan isn't necessary. They're not giving it to those artists.
What is it?
I remember it was on my agenda a few weeks ago. It was like to encourage like arts and culture and encourage people. Like it was supposed to give people an opportunity, to be able to like
National Theatre is supposed to get refurbished. What's the name? You know, because if you watch that Onyeka video, you can see like stained walls and stuff. It's chipping off away and looks. I think they're supposed to get it. Nigeria now is paying attention to this entertainment sector.
Yes,
it might not be because they like it, but by default, it's like our stars are doing big.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity to bring more attention, more people, tourism.
So if a governor says, "Well, as you have won Grammy,"
yes,
my own way of saying thank you to you. And bear in mind again, here's where people don't see it. There are many, many more Burna boys from Port Harcourt who are going to see that and have a dream of one day getting there.
Yeah, so almost like giving people some kind of incentive.
Do you understand? Like, when last have you seen a Nigerian artist being celebrated in his Nigeria that bans music videos, Nigeria that stifles creativity? Nigeria has never been this involved.
Good point.
In this aspect. See, people say Burna Boy preaches against bad government and he took billboard for EndSARS and all these things. Fine. I say let's judge Burna Boy 2 years from now when his music over the years, none of them have any, when the music starts to change to the tone of singing for the government.
Yeah.
When his music starts to change to the please, I don't care, like the government is doing its best. When his message,
okay, so I get what you're saying.
Can say he's compromised.
Can I respond to that? I get what you're saying. So even this Governor Wike story, it was done under the commissioner. It was done by it was released by the Commissioner of Culture and Tourism, Tonye Briggs Oniyide. So it was obviously tied to the culture and tourism aspect of trying to incentivize, perhaps, which is a good point, right? The artists that were paid 10 million each, right?
They too should have returned the money if everyone feels it was bad.
Well,
or said no.
Well, so here's the argument.
Oh, let me give you one last thing. Burna Boy, I wish I can find the tweet. That same time when they go back to Port Harcourt, there's a Port Harcourt feeding Twitter page that like they do like charity work. They tweeted about how he donated to them to give free food to people, and they gave a lot of food to people of Port Harcourt.
Yes.
Again, these things don't get shown.
Yeah, but that's a separate matter.
How do we not know that? We don't know the amount he was giving. We don't know if he was giving money.
I understand. But hear me out. Let me just respond to that. And look, I understand both sides of the argument. Just see me as someone that's playing devil's advocate, because I also see the benefits of wanting to inspire kids, right?
Yes.
And giving them rewards and stuff like that. The argument against that is that a state like River State, right?
Yes.
Port Harcourt, where, I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of areas within Port Harcourt that there are a lot of impoverished people, right? There's a lot of infrastructure that has gone ignored, things that have gone obsolete, and this is across Nigeria.
Yes.
Some people would argue that this money that you're using that you're giving artists to celebrate Burna, right? And on this whole thing that you're putting together, why can't you use it for the people of River State? That would be the argument.
You know my response to that argument?
You see what I'm saying?
My response to the argument
is the benefit. No, let me finish now. Is the benefit of having this celebration for Burna Boy's Grammy win, is that gonna outweigh the benefit of using those same funds, right, for people in need in River State, like people, like the money that can actually be spread across more people on many levels? And you know what I'm saying? Like, this is America that we're talking about. This is Nigeria we're talking about. That would be the argument. So
I know my response to that argument is take it up with Governor Wike, not the people. You know what? Because that same Governor Wike donates 500 million naira to Sokoto to rebuild Ray's market. Does that sound sensible to you?
Doesn't sound sensible.
So why? So it shows that this man, regardless of the money, is going to do what he wants to do with the money. So take it up with him. Governor, you cannot be giving 500 million.
But they're taking it up with all of them. They're taking it up with all of them.
Yes, but they're not taking it up with him as much as they're taking it up with. Then again, we don't know what Burna Boy got. And now, if it says it's the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, so it says, that says a statement released by the Commissioner of Tourism, Culture and Tourism, Tonye Briggs, revealed that the governor has fulfilled his promise. What was the promise?
It was 10 million
to give 10 million naira to each of the performing artists who participated in the Burna Boy Homecoming stage reception. That's what they said the promise was. Where do we see an amount that was given to Burna?
How much is 10 million naira in dollars?
Where do we see a house? I mean, a land. Even if he did give Burna this thing, but where do we see this thing?
How much is 10 million naira in dollars?
I don't know, $3,000 or something like that. 4,000.
Okay, that's not.
No. Sorry, no. I'm sorry. That's much. It's like 20,000. I'm sorry.
$20,000.
Like $20,000 to each person.
For $20,000 for performance of a song.
Yes,
I think that's a bit.
I do think the money. I think
that's a bit much.
I think it's. I believe Wike is misappropriating funds in terms of not even this whole entertainment thing. I don't. Again, we see that this was organized by the Commissioner of the Culture and Tourism in this thing. Fine, let's play devil advocate. He gave Burna Boy land. Give me an amount you think he gave Burna Boy that they said he gave Burna Boy physically. 100 million? Fine. He gave Burna Boy 100 million plus land. And he gave how many artists 10 million? Let's say there were 5 of them or whatever. Let's just say he spent 200 million in general and this thing. I don't think it's in the place of these artists where you're being supported for your craft, you're being welcomed for your achievement.
Yeah.
To, in fact, if I was the artist, the best I can probably do is take that money and give it to charity if I feel like I don't need it. I'd rather take that money and do that than to say, no, don't give me the money. Who I should have the problem with is Wike. I understand that you want to show appreciation for this guy. But again, your state is suffering. Do we have the budget to be giving away 200 million, 300 million land and this thing? The same way, do we have the budget? I understand that you sympathize with Sokoto State for the fire that downed their markets, but do we have the budget to give them 500 million? That is who your problem should be with. Your problem should not be with the recipient. Because again, we've seen that, fine.
Yeah, but the recipient seems to have an understanding that there's a lot of corruption in Nigeria, right?
So why
if Burna Boy understands that there is a lot of corruption with these governors, if now we don't know if he collected it, but if he did collect money from someone like this, right?
Okay.
And if it's established that maybe this guy has been misappropriating funds and has been funneling money and has been abusing funds and not really doing well by his people, you can definitely make a valid argument that someone in Burna Boy's position should not be receiving funds, knowing well, especially given that Burna Boy has known to even have activists.
Yes.
You know,
not an activist, but
no, but he's known to speak against like injustices in Nigeria. I mean, he talks about corruption.
Has he
talks about all these things, right? And then you now go collect money from some of the people that you're accusing of being corrupt. Isn't there a bit of a hypocrisy?
Again, has he stopped? Number one and number two, it says the guy pledged to the culture and tourism, and the thing says the guy paid those 10 artists. So it can even still be, if I was Burna Boy, my camp would also say, well, look, maybe the culture and tourism has its own budget on its own, and they paid for these things. The same way NFF, Nigerian Football Federation, has its own budget that gives these players, and you have people pledge to them, to give through them, to give these players land and cars and whatever when they arrive.
Yeah, no, but that's different. Those ones they're actually working on behalf of the Nigerian government.
He's also working on behalf of the Nigerian government because he's a Nigerian. He's representing the country. We are all representing the country, and that's why this country celebrates every win. If this podcast,
the Nigerian football team is called the Nigerian football team for a reason. You see, there's a distinction between an artist, right?
Are you saying that
versus
it is wrong?
The Nigerian football team?
Are you saying that it is
that's
wrong?
playing in an international?
Are you saying that it is wrong
tournament?
That any there's no. First of all, it's hard to name one pure governor, But are you saying that it is wrong? No, I'm trying to understand the hypocrisy because people are coming out with this whole. Burna Boy should have not taken it. Nigga, y'all take worse than that. And then secondly, where my disappointment will come is if tomorrow I see him singing a song for Wike's campaign trail. I see him at PDP's campaign rally like Davido supposed did, and everyone, and when the band too suffered this now.
The band went through it.
He went through it, but he didn't go through it because he went through it because he was seen publicly campaigning for these people. So if Burna Boy starts doing ads and campaigning, then I'm like, yeah, you fucked up.
Well, the truth of the matter is that we don't.
Well, Wike,
no one knows the details.
Well, Wike is the one to be held. Governor Wike is the one to be held accountable because, dude, this is a guy who's been honored by his state. Fine, but Wike, this money you're giving away, your state needs that money more than. Could you have done it without getting artists to pay? Could you have done it without getting Omale and whoever else was there? You probably could have.
He probably could have.
You could have only done it by giving him a medal and end with that. But obviously, Niger way, you want to involve money. Fine, you can involve money. But then the question is, Wike, should you have also taken that money to do something better? I'm not saying Burna Boy is a saint. I know.
Okay, so this is what happened. Yeah. He also announced that the government will not only allocate a land in old government residential area of Port Harcourt to the honoree, but also give him money to build a house there.
Okay, so
I think it's not. We don't know how much.
Don't know how much. So again, the question then goes to Wike. Why are you giving this money out? Can you afford it? No.
So where I agree with you is that the onus ultimately is on the governor himself. That is where the chief responsibility is.
And is this called misappropriation of funds?
It could be argued. It could be argued that it's misappropriation of funds because it's not necessarily funds that's going to generate as much income or as much prosperity versus if he actually used it
you can't say that
exactly. So that's debatable.
Entertainment.
So that's and this is why I allow for some grace on the strength of the fact that right now Afrobeat is one of the only saving graces we have in that country in terms of even bringing any kind of positive attention. When last
did the VP take a loan for
even bringing any kind of positive attention? Now, here's where I would make your argument. This stuff that he's doing, right, it could reap dividends much later on.
Argued that it could. Yes,
yeah, it could. It could. It's not guaranteed. It could. But it could reap dividends much later on.
Not, yeah.
For someone like Burna Boy, right? Like if you're kind of investing in his career, it could be seen as a way of like investing in his career to the point that he goes to even higher levels, right? And he's bringing more attention to where he came from.
Yes.
So there's an argument to be made here. Don't get me wrong.
Yes. The problem is just that the money aspect of things.
Yeah, it's the money. It's when there's money involved, right? And when there's money involved like this, right? And huge sums of cash like this, right? You can and given that there's so many people that are poor and impoverished, you could understand the sensitivity around something like this.
Of course.
So I don't deny that there could be long-term effects later on by investing in someone like Burna Boy's career and like
I don't get why you have other artists that you're giving 10 million to who didn't win anything. Also, why does Burna Boy need to be entertained at his homecoming by performance from other artists?
It beats me.
I don't get that part.
It beats me. But
again, I won't think Omale should be like drop the money.
The point I'm trying to make is that I think the chief responsibility is on the person that we voted in. Mm-hmm. But I can especially if Burna Boy is if he has shown understanding of how much corruption is in our government. You cannot, and he's talked about these things. Yes. You cannot deny that there is also some level of he doesn't have to reject the money. But there's a level of integrity that it would show if he were to identify that, okay, maybe this money we could do better things with this money. Now again, it's all alleged. We don't know how much he gave.
Yes. What if we look at another angle? What if he's now in a position where maybe he can make suggestions to the governor himself? Look at in the States the way Kim Kardashian was able to influence some decisions Trump made.
But why would he need to he need to receive land and money for that?
No, forget the receiving land and money. You see, that receiving land and money is done. It's what happens in Nigeria is done. No, there's nothing that these people do that it doesn't involve. It's the Nigerian way. It's done and done. But this was not this money was given out there. This is not misappropriation. This might just be
like it wasn't like a backdoor thing. It wasn't a backdoor thing. It was announced.
It was announced, but this is like priority.
But it wasn't announced how much he gave him, though.
Priority is just the one where it's like, Governor Wike, I understand, but did you really need, like, your priorities are more important than giving out this money. You could have had this ceremony without money involved. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we all agree, at least I agree with that aspect. As far as, but the recipient, now Burna Boy has two things to do. Now that he's accepted these things, at least allegedly, is either now use your newfound relationship
Yes.
to do good,
Yes.
but also make sure you don't stop what you've been doing since. Because if tomorrow we start seeing you campaigning for the same people, if tomorrow we start hearing you sing songs for the same people, if tomorrow we start seeing you in ads and movements and billboards for the same people, then that is when that money has bought your integrity. Because now that money, you can argue that, you know what, it's a gift from my state, for my reward, regardless of who the governor was. The state wanted to recognize me for doing something that no Nigerian in recent history has ever done. And, you know, I'm proud to be from Port Harcourt, Rivers State, and I would take this gift. But now it's to show that, okay, you guys, this gift you give me is not to buy my silence. I will still fight the fight I fight.
Fair enough.
And that is up to Burna at this point.
Let me ask you, what would you have done in that position?
I'll take the money, man.
You'd have taken the money.
Why not? I earned it.
Did
I earned any
you have to remember that even the Grammy themselves that are giving out this award, they're not giving you money with it.
But that's Nigeria. Nigeria that had this gives card to next rated artist. That is Nigeria for you.
So you think it's more of a cultural thing?
It's Nigeria for you. The next rated artist in the headies gets a car.
I mean, I didn't think of that angle. I didn't think
that's
of that
Nigeria
angle.
now. Almost everything is incentivized.
I didn't think of that angle. I mean,
not every award, but almost next rated literally gets a car.
Speaking of next rated.